Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is your Akazaki Yahu, giving all praises, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahweh, Bahashim, Hamashiach, Wamalak, Yahweh Shah, Barakatha. To the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth, I say Shalom wa Baruchim. Shalom wa Baruchim. That is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together. And we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High power, under one covenant, back in our own land with a heart of flesh and no more a heart of stone, with our enemies, our adversaries, and all who hate us under our feet. Hallelujah. Now, y'all can tell Akazaki Yahu may be just a tad bit agitated, just a tad bit. And here's the reason why. Yak been privy to a lot of instances where people have butchered, and I mean butchered, the understanding of put away and divorce. And it's quite agitated. It's quite agitating, especially as a brother who is divorced. So what's trying to be told to me is that somehow, some way, my existence in life is somehow wrong because I'm a man in the truth of the Most High who decided to leave a woman who wasn't interested in the truth of the Most High. So because of that choice that I made, now somehow I'm destined to be some kind of a eunuch or something foolish like this. And that's not in the text. That doesn't exist in the text. And you let these so-called Christians and even some of these other people, some Israelites, try to spin that narrative, and that's not what the text says. So let's get into what the text says. Let's get into what the Most High says, because that's who my judge is. That's who I'm living for. What does the Most High say about the situation? And that's what we're going to deal with here. So let's get to the video that is in question, and let's deal with it. All right. All right. So on this particular video, we had the priest brother HAKAH, formerly known or also known as DEACON, used to be with Sakari. Now he got his own situation he calls Genesis. He's brought this brother on, Michael Ray Garvin. I don't know the brother, but let's get into the conversation here.
Yes, sir. Let's start this by giving all praise to the Most High in the name of His only begotten Son. This is
give all praise to Yahweh, or you might pronounce it Yahuwah, Bashem, Yehoshua, or Yahweh Shah, Hamashiach, the Messiah. Not the G-O-D, because the G-O-D could be the G-O-D of this world. So I call my power by name.
HAKAH, a.k.a. known as the Deacon. I got my brother, Brother Garvin, or whatever. What do you want to be addressed by during this?
Mike is fine. Michael Ray, whichever one, brother. It's all right.
What's going on, man? What's your background, brother?
Oh, man. I'm blessed and thankful, man. All praise to the Most High God and His Son, Jesus Christ. I just came from training athletes. I used to play football back in the day, coach high school football as well. And I just do full-time ministry and train athletes as well, too. And so, yeah, God is good, brother. What about yourself?
You used to be a pastor?
Youth pastor, yes. I was a youth pastor. But I do ministry, like I do full-time ministry. I go into the public schools and preach the gospel.
Right, so
I even do jail ministry as well. About maybe 2-3 times a month now. Used to go once a week, but now I got to just bring it down a little bit because I got to get more into the schools as well. So
Well, yeah, you know, I'm an Israelite.
That's all that matters.
That's all I can say. We believe we're God's. Well, the Bible says we're God's chosen people, and I'm not sure where you found me at, but we are here today, and you said you would like to discuss polygyny and the new covenant, correct?
Yeah, yeah. And then I only got about an hour too. I told
Okay.
my wife, yeah. So let's see. I just
Okay.
wanted to talk with you about that and just kind of see, your stance and kind of show you certain things. Hopefully, man, you can kind of see what the Bible actually teaches about polygyny. But if you want to get started, I can go ahead and share my screen real quick if that's okay. And then anytime you want to, interject, ask a question. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Praise God. All right. So yeah, I agree that polygyny in the Old Testament was lawful. I have no issue with that because the adultery status was based on the woman only. So, for example, this married man, he could add on.
So polygyny, or a man having more than one wife, was not only lawful in what's called the Old Testament, it's lawful today. And the reason it's lawful today is because the Most High, in his divine wisdom, has devised a man who can be father to 2 children, 3 children, 10 children at one time, and a woman who can only have one baby per year, one pregnancy per year. Let me clarify: one pregnancy per year. But a woman can only be pregnant once in a year, but a man can have as many children as he can in that same year. So what are we discussing here? I mean, what is the topic of the conversation, truthfully? So the Most High didn't know what he was doing when he created a man to push out, to create life, and a woman to receive in, to create life, and it take her a year, 9 months, 10 months, or whatever it is to uh, uh, bring forth life. So the Most High didn't know what he was doing when he did that. And the numbers of women to men, that has nothing to do with the Most High either. That's just coincidence. So here's the thing: if every man takes one wife, you know how many women would be left over in the earth? In Israel, let's not even deal with the earth. In Israel, if every man took one wife, how many women would be left over? Women outnumber men about 7 to 1. 7 to 1. So a man takes one wife, there are 6 women left over. If every man took one wife, there'd be 6 women per one man left over. Explain to me, how in the world does that mean that everybody's supposed to have one spouse? Let's continue.
Another woman or multiple wives and it not be considered a sin. But adultery was if a man slept with this man's wife, correct?
Adultery is based on the status of the woman only Old Testament.
Yeah, in the Old Testament.
I don't agree that the laws changed.
Adultery is based on the status of the woman, period. If a woman is married and you deal with that woman, you have committed adultery.
Okay, so but I'm asking you, I'm just talking about Old Testament right now, that in the Old Testament, a man could not commit adultery against his wife, correct?
Right.
Okay, all right, because we don't see that anywhere. But adultery was this, let's say a man sleeping with another man's wife. This was the definition of adultery, correct?
Well, technically, yes.
Okay, all right, praise God. All right, so New Testament, and everything that I'm going to do, I'm going to give you evidence based off of this. All right. So New Testament adultery is now based on the status of the man and the woman. So we see here in Mark 10:11, Jesus says, and he said unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife, which is divorce.
Which is not divorce. That's the problem. Put away your wife is not divorce. And that's where the issue comes in. And he saith unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife. What does it mean to put away your wife? That doesn't mean to divorce her. And shall marry another, committed adultery against her. Why would he, if he put away his wife and commits adultery against her, how is that when he's put her away? When Devarim 24, let's go to it. Let's go to it. This is what I'm sick of right here. This is the agitation right here. Deuteronomy 24. Verse 1. It says, and a man have a wife and have married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he have found some uncleanness in her. Then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. That is Torah. Unmistakable. Verse 3. And if the latter husband hate her and write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand, send her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, the former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife after that she is defiled, for that is an abomination before Yahweh, and you may not cause the land to sin, which Yahweh, your power, give unto you for an inheritance. So clearly, this brother don't know what in the world he's talking about, because you're trying to say that a man divorcing a woman and a man putting a woman away is the same thing, and it's not. Putting a woman away means that she's still your wife. This is my wife. I don't have anything to do with her, but she's got to go on about her business. But yet she's still married to you because you have not given her a divorce. So she cannot go to another man and be his wife, because that is against Torah. Y'all need to stop this foolishness. A man divorce a woman because he had found some uncleanness in her. He is perfectly just to do so. Perfectly just to do so. Let's continue. The reason he would commit adultery against her is because she is still his wife. He puts her away, meaning he did not give her a divorce. They're just separated. And he goes and marries another. Yeah, because he's doing this behind her back. That's not divorce. That's put away. When he sent this woman off, now she's free to go out and do her own thing. But not if she's put away. If she's put away, she's still his wife. If you go further into what Mashiach was saying right there at that very point, and y'all forgive me, this gets my goat, because this tries to indict because I'm divorced. I'm divorced. I'm a divorced man. So you try to tell me that somehow, some way, I'm wrong. Let's jump to the text. Mark chapter 10 and verse 11. And he saith unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another committed adultery against her. And if a woman, verse 12, and if the woman shall put away her husband and marry another, she committed adultery. Why does she commit adultery? Because she's still married to that man. That doesn't mean divorce. That means she separates from him. That means she's still married to him. Verse 13, and they brought 2 young children to him. So no, that's off the subject. Okay, let me skip down. Let me drop down. No, that's it. That's it right here. So, but that's what the gist of the issue is. It's not about divorce. It's about separation. Putting away this woman means that you're separating from her. If I just separated from my wife, if I'm married to a woman and I leave, or I put her out of my house and she leaves, guess what? She's still my wife. She goes and be with another man, she's committing adultery. I go and I be with another woman, I'm committing adultery because that's still my wife. Because we haven't fulfilled Devarim 24 by letting him write her a bill of divorce, give it in her hand, and send her out of his house. You have to write a bill of divorce, put it in her hand, and send her out of the house. You have to do all of this in order to complete a divorce. Not one of these, not part of these. You have to do all of this. You can't write her a bill of divorce, not give it to her, and keep her at the house. That doesn't work. You can't write her a bill of divorce, put it in her hand, and then take her in the bedroom. That doesn't work. You can't not write her a bill of divorce, tell her it's over, and then kick her out. That doesn't work. That's not what the instructions say. You have to follow these instructions as it is written. You can't make up your own way and try to use that to justify yourself. That is foul. Let's get back to the video.
Nowhere found in the Torah. Nowhere do you find a man committing adultery against his wife. But Jesus is clearly making the statement, committed adultery against her. Wow. So when you see in Matthew 5:28, right, he says, but I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman, and this translation, it doesn't say looketh on a wife. It says looketh on a woman to lust after her, has committed adultery with her already in his heart. So Matthew 5:28 could only refer to a married.
Stop. Man, my people are so difficult to deal with because this Christian mind is so twisted and so warped. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely egregious. Let's go to the text. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 28. But I say unto you, whosoever looketh upon a woman to lust after her, have committed adultery already in his heart. So wait just a minute. What about a single man? What about a single man looking at a single woman? The conversation here is adultery. Starting at 27. You have heard it was said in the old times, you shall not commit adultery. But I say unto you that whosoever, any man who look upon a woman to lust after her, committed adultery with her already in his heart. What is the Mashiach saying here? Is the Mashiach saying that a single man looking at a single woman is committing adultery with this woman in his heart? Absolutely la'ah. No, he's not saying that. That is utterly ridiculous. A single man looking at a single woman and decides, I want that woman. I want to marry that woman. I want to take care of that woman. I want to protect that woman. I want to make this woman my wife. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But when you don't understand what's written in the text, when you don't understand what the law is sharing with you, then you'll go on some kind of ridiculous tirade and try to make up some stuff that fits some stupid ideology that makes no sense. Let's continue to the next verse. If your eye offend you, get rid of it. If your hand offend you, get rid of it. Does he mean pluck out your eye, cut off your hand? No. No, he doesn't mean pluck out your eye and cut off your hand. What he means is don't let your body cause you to be destroyed. Don't let something as weak as your hand that can't operate without you cause you to be destroyed. He doesn't mean cut it off. That's self-maiming. He don't mean cut your hand off. That's not the ideal situation. Verse 31. It had been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him write her a bill of divorcement. That is the absolutely right. But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away, not divorce, put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication. What does this mean? He said, write her a bill of divorce. It has been said, write her a bill of divorce. But I'm telling you that whosoever shall put away his wife, except for the cause of fornication, meaning that you done had your wife, you done caught your wife doing some stuff you ain't had no business, or you know she done done some stuff she ain't had no business. What are you doing? You're causing her to commit adultery. How are you causing her to commit adultery? Because she's not divorced. She's put away. This woman, the only reason this woman needs to be put away is because she have committed fornication against her husband. Physical fornication, spiritual fornication, any manner of cheating, any manner of doing anything that she doesn't have any business doing. That woman needs to be put away. Why? Because she doesn't deserve a new husband. She doesn't deserve to be with another husband. She needs the stain of a failed marriage on her, meaning that she's still spiritually married to this man, and she doesn't need to go and be with another man. So she needs to carry the burden. This is what Hamashiach is telling you here. She needs to carry the burden of her failed marriage and not be with another man. Whosoever shall marry her, that is, this word shouldn't be here. That is, put away, committeth adultery. This is not the word for divorce. This is the word for put away. Let's prove that. Let's prove that right now. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 32. Let's get the Strongs. Verse 32. Put away. Shall put away. That's G630. That's the word for put away. But when you drop here, and you go to divorce, $32. Slacky, my bad. I'm in the wrong spot. Look at here. Shall put away. G630. Well, look at this. This is divorce. That's G630. These are the same word. So put away should be right here as well. She that is put away, not divorced, put away. Huh. They tried to pull the rug out from under you by telling you that you married a woman that is put away. But this is what Hamashiach said. But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away, G630, his wife, save for the cause of fornication, cause her to commit adultery. And whosoever shall marry her that is put away, committeth adultery. Why are you committing adultery by marrying someone that's put away? Because without divorce, she's still married to that man. So she's married to him, and now you sleeping with her. That is the definition of adultery. The definition of adultery is having relations, physical, sexual relations with a married woman. So this is what Hamashiach was explaining to us here. There's no mention of the word divorce in this text right here. People have been butchering this and chopping this and making it jacked up for the whole time. Oh, by the way, let's go back to 31, and you'll see it's a completely different word. Divorce, 647, G647. Put away, 630. Six 630, 647. Those are completely different words. Different words. But yet you're trying to convince someone, you're trying to convince people that a man divorcing following Devarim 24, as it is written, thus saith the Most High, thus says the set apart manuscript. But somehow Moses got it wrong, and he's not supposed to tell you to do that. And yet, wait just a moment. You telling me from the time of Moshe in Devarim all the way to Matiyahu, all those prophets that came by the way of the Most High, and he didn't address that until this point? All these years, all these generations of these men divorcing their wives, and that was never an issue, and Hamashiach addresses it because someone comes to him and say, is it not lawful to, let's go back. He said, it might not be in this chapter. Lead the case, I agree with your adversary. Deliver unto prison. Verily I say unto you, you heard it said in old times, you should not commit adultery. So the conversation, not in this text, but the conversation began because somebody asked him, is it not lawful to put away your wife for every cause? That's what got him on this situation. Is it lawful to put away our wives for every cause? No, it's not lawful to put away your wife for every cause. Give her a letter of divorcement, put it in her hand, and send her out of the house. That's what's lawful. That way, this woman is not your wife anymore. Let me get one more thing before I get out of here. Let's get back to the video right quick. I'm flustered.
Not his wife. She's single, not married, because it doesn't say wife. She doesn't belong to anybody. She's not bound, right?
And he don't know what the heck he talking about. First of all, the word for wife is the same word for woman, Isha. Okay? Isha. It's the same word. It's not a word for wife and a word for woman. Isha is the same word for both. So please, man, stop.
And lusts after her, commits adultery against his wife.
That's because he's still married to that woman. You don't know what you're talking about, man. Just stop.
What's your thoughts on this, brother?
Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So, according to your understanding on that, are you saying that Christ came to do away with some of the permissible laws of the Old Testament?
No, the Bible talks about for there be a change of priesthood, there's also a change also of the law. And then Christ.
Stop. The change of priesthood has nothing to do with changing of the law as it pertains to this segment of the law. The change of priesthood had to change with the law because the priesthood, the Torah spoke nothing about Yehuda being a priest. But yet, Hamashiach, who is from the tribe of Yehuda, is a priest after the order of Melchizedek. That's where the change needed to come, smart guy. And I'm not trying to ridicule you. I'm just trying to make this thing understandable. Because that's what that change was. You can't just use that as a blanket term to now we can make adjustments to the law and make it be what it is that we want it to be. That's not how it works. Because Yehuda was never mentioned for priesthood. And yet, Yehoshua HaMashiach, Yahweh HaMashiach, from the tribe of Yehuda, is now the king and priest, high priest of the nation of Israel. So, man, you don't know enough to really be trying to get into this stuff, man.
Came to fulfill it, the priesthood
of the Old Testament.
No, the Bible talks about for there be a change of priesthood, there's also a change also of the law. And then
so again, the change of priesthood has to do with Israelite from the tribe of Yehuda being the priest. The priests were always the Levites as it pertains to HaTorah. So that had to be amended because you were taking Hamashiach from the tribe of Yehuda and making him the high priest of the nation of Israel. That had to be amended.
Then Christ came to fulfill it.
You don't know what you're talking about, brother. You need to sit down and study and be taught. And stop trying to think you're teaching somebody and you just taking people down the wrong path.
So in Matthew 19, do you know that Christ said that Moses commanded or allowed them to divorce their wives because of the hardness of their hearts, but from the beginning it was not so?
He said, put away your wives because of the hardness of your hearts. Moses allows you to put away your wives for the hardness of your hearts. Put away, not divorce, put away.
Okay, so let me go back to my question. Let me go back to my question.
Okay.
I didn't say anything about the priesthood. I'm saying
I said change of law.
Are you saying that Christ came to change or do away with God's laws, his father's law?
No.
Then how is adultery, the definition, the law of adultery changed?
Well, because Moses got it incorrect, because Moses was not commanded by God to write Deuteronomy 24. Jesus tells us this in Matthew 19.
The laws of Moses called the laws of God?
Well, when you look at,
hold up, and that's another thing, man. We got to stop this foolishness. How the hell are you gonna say out of your mouth that Moshe got it wrong? You don't know what you're talking about, brother. That's just such a far overreach, and you don't have any. Do you realize that what the Most High did to Miriam for talking shade against Moshe? You Christians, man, y'all don't have an understanding of this book. And y'all just love to just spew rhetoric out your face. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself. How dare you say Moses got it wrong? When the Most High said, when the representative of the Most High said explicitly, not Moshe, who I speak with mouth to mouth, like a man speak with his friend. And now all of a sudden he got it wrong. He's wrong. Moshe is wrong. Moshe got it wrong. And you ought to fear the Most High to say that. He struck Miriam with leprosy for 7 days. 7 days in the wilderness. She had to suffer with leprosy for talking about Moshe marrying an Ethiopian woman. And you, brother, get out here talking about Moses got it wrong. He didn't do it right. You ought to fear the Most High. You ought to fear the power of the Most High and not talk about his servant Moshe like that. You were way out of line.
The original 10 that was written by God and given to Moses, they were placed inside the Ark of the Covenant, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then the ones that Moses wrote was placed what? Beside the Ark. It was placed beside it. It was not placed inside. Only only Aaron's bud.
So now he's trying to make a distinction between the law that the Most High wrote and the law that Moses wrote. Who told Moses to write this law? Who told Moses what to write? Did you come off of Mount Sinai glowing? Did you come off Mount Sinai glowing, brother? Because that's what Moshe went through. 40 days and 40 nights on the mount. All this information given to him. So much that his face shined. He had a glow. That same type of glow, and then some, that the children of Israel are going to be restored to. The same glow that Adam had when before he sinned against the Most High, and that light went out. But you don't know nothing about that, because all you know is what they taught you. And you, my brother, man, I'm not trying to dig in your chest. I'm really not. I just really hate that you're doing what you're doing and you spewing this ridiculous rhetoric. What you should be doing is sitting down, listening, paying attention, and learning something.
The manna and also the 10 commandments, the stone tablets, which was the law of God, actually divinely given to Moses. And now you see Jesus Christ, who is the Son of the Most High God, who is divine.
So where's homosexuality outside of the 10 commandments?
So when we talk about fornication, when Jesus talks about fornication in the New Testament, fornication lists all
in the Old Testament, not in the New Testament. In the Old Testament, since you're saying Moses got it incorrect, and that
no. I didn't say in everything. Yeah, I didn't say Moses got everything. I'm talking about
incorrect?
I'm just baffled. How the hell can you say Moses got it incorrect? No, not everything, just the 24. Man.
Deuteronomy 24. Deuteronomy 24, Moses was not commanded. Jesus tells us, he says that Moses allowed you to divorce your wife, but
he never said divorce. Stop inserting divorce, because he didn't say that.
Beginning, it was not so. What does that mean?
Right.
What does that mean?
That means that the Most High, of course, from our vantage point, it seems like there was a ratification, but if the Most High is sovereign over all things, then he knew that he would give that to Moses. Every time Moses gave a law, he inquired of the Most High. So I want to just bring this up, and then I want to ask a follow-up question, and we can stay right here on Matthew 19 as well, or your screen as well. I'll bring your screen back in a second. So
forgive me, I don't mean to be emotional and upset. I mean, this is just such folly, and this is a personal experience that I've lived, that I'm living right here today. So for this brother to say this in front of the world, I mean, it's like he's trying to condemn me because I chose to stand on what is righteous. And I sought counsel before I made this decision. And my counsel told me that the best thing for me to do would be to follow the text and deal rightly with this woman by putting her, giving her a divorce, not putting her away, but giving her a divorce so that she could operate by her own standard, which is what her objective was.
In Nehemiah 8, they're not talking about the 10 Commandments here. It's called the Law of Moses, right? Mm-hmm. Then in verse 8, they call it the Law of God. So the laws of Moses are called the laws of God. This is why we read in Matthew 5 that he came not to destroy it, destroy the laws of the prophets. Mm-hmm. In Matthew 5 and 17, think not that I come to destroy but fulfill. So it says, for verily I say unto you, because you're saying the law of polygyny is done away with, correct?
But there was no law saying that you can have multiple wives.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so let's go to Deuteronomy 20.
See, that's what I'm saying. You don't even know what's going on, brother. You just coming in with some rhetoric. You don't even know.
21 and 15. Deuteronomy 21 and 15 says, if a man has two wives.
Mm-hmm.
How is the Most High giving you credence to govern having two wives if it was not lawful? That's like me telling you, that's like the Most High telling you, if you got two cows, then you trying to come back and say, oh, you couldn't have two cows, that's unlawful. Man, get out of here with that foolishness.
This isn't, if God wasn't okay with it, then that means that he wouldn't be telling Moses to tell us how to govern the two wives. Exodus chapter 21 and 9 or 21 and 10.
Is there a law commanding a man to have two wives?
What does that have to do with anything? What? Please explain that to me. Do you have to command a man to make $100,000 a year? Is there a law commanding a man to make $100,000 a year? Is there a law commanding a man to get a physical checkup every year? Is there a law commanding a man to get his teeth cleaned? Is there a law commanding a man to drive a car? Is there a law commanding a man to do the things that that you do on an everyday basis? Do the Most High have to give you a law for everything? He got to give you a law to trim your hair, to wash your face? I mean, the only place I've seen where it was required to take a shower is if you've been, or to wash yourself in water, is if you've been defiled. If you defiled yourself with something dead, or you'll see the copulation going from you. Is that the only time you're supposed to take a bath? Is that a law? Man, you Christians, man, I promise. I love y'all, man, but dang, y'all make it difficult to do business with you.
Yes, there's a law commanding, and I'll show you that in a second.
Okay, show me that. Yeah, show me that.
God, I got you, but this is God governing on how to deal with polygyny. Why isn't he condemning it?
Okay. You want me to answer right now?
I'll go to where it's commanded.
Man, get out of here.
Deuteronomy 25.
Y'all brothers, man. I want y'all to do.
Yeah, I want to see
Deuteronomy 25.
So much better.
And let me know if I'm breaking up or if you can hear me clearly, because sometimes you get a little choppy.
Am I choppy right now?
No, you're good. In Deuteronomy 25 and 7. Or 25 and 7. And if a man like not to take his brother's wife, yeah. So this is where you take your brother's wife. This is a commandment.
Is the brother already married?
25 and 5. He could be married.
All right. Let's read it, man, because he about to get on my nerve. Deuteronomy chapter 25 and verse 5. If brethren dwell together, and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her and take her to him to wife, to perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her. So guess what? There's no specification except he be married, except he be previously married, except he already have a wife. No, he has to do this regardless of whether he has a wife or not, because this is how the Most High set it up.
Married. It don't
But
say you can't take. It doesn't say that, but it doesn't say
But
you cannot take her.
man, you know what? I'm gonna have to cut this off. This is gonna make me mad. Let's go.
Married.
Let's keep going.
Okay.
So it says if brothers dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead. Nowhere in here does it say, "Oh, if you're married, you can't do this." That would be you superimposing that white supremacist ideology into the text. It says, "The wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her." So it's actually a commandment. So then I'll give it back to you because I want to make this fair.
Not only is it a commandment, it's the commandment of raising up seed unto your brother. You take your brother's wife. If your brother pass away, having no children, you take your brother's wife and you make her your wife. And the firstborn of that union goes under the name of your brother, so that the name of your brother is not out of Israel. That is the law of the seed, of raising up seed to your brother. It doesn't matter if you have a wife. It doesn't matter if you have two wives. You've got to take your brother's wife. You are required. And if you don't, then you have to deal with all of this backlash, including loose the shoe off your foot and being spat in your face because you refuse.
If because are you saying, because I'm getting different answers from you. You're and on your slide it says that it wasn't a sin. Let me pull your slide up again. On your slide it says that it wasn't.
You talking about the previous one, the Old Testament, correct?
Yeah, wasn't okay. So it wasn't a sin in the Old Testament.
No, it wasn't. It was so.
And sin is the transgression of the law, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that means that there is a law. There's no law that prohibits it.
Like I said, it wasn't a sin in the Old Testament. God overlooked it, right? But now commands all men everywhere to repent, correct?
Let me ask you again, just because you might not get what I'm saying.
No, brother.
Sin is the transgression of the law. What law is it talking about there?
The law of the Most High.
Brother, I said I agree that polygyny was lawful back then in Old Testament. I'm talking about New Testament now. So yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you on Old Testament. I'm asking you to deal with this according to the New Covenant. Yeah. So that's why I'm at. Yeah.
So moving forward, because this is why we had to backtrack to the Old Testament, because I asked you, are those laws done away with now?
So there's a change of the law. So for example, even when it comes to swearing oaths, Numbers 30 verse 2, right? Let me bring this up real quick. Do I have that up there? Hold on. Let me go back to that real quick, brother.
If you're saying that Christ has the ability to radicalize the law, I agree with you there. So is that what you're saying? Christ came and he did change some of the laws?
Yeah, I mean it's clear. Like for example,
well, he didn't change the laws. He gave clarity to the law so that you could better understand the Torah. He didn't change it. He just clarified.
In the Old Testament, we could swear an oath, right? In Numbers 30.
Brother. Okay, I understand where you're coming from here. So Numbers 30 and 2. It says, if a man vow a vow unto Yahuwah, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. That is Torah, 100%. That is unequivocally Torah. What Hamashiach said in Matthew chapter 5 and verse 33, again, you have heard that it is said of old times, you shall not forswear yourself. You shall perform basically he's pointing back to Numbers 30, what I just read. Verse 34. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by Shamaim, for it is the Most High's throne, neither by the earth, because it is his footstool. But you shall let your communications be Khan, or La'ah. For whatsoever is more than that cometh of evil. So what is Hamashiach explaining to you here? What Hamashiach is explaining to us is quite simple. It's not required to swear to the Most High. You don't have to say, I swear by heaven or by earth, or I swear to the Most High. That's not required. That's not a requirement. And it's better for you not to do so. That's like me telling you, yeah, you can go buy a brand new Cadillac Escalade for $30,000, get all the bells and whistles. Nobody's ever owned it before. Yeah, you can do all of that, and that's perfectly fine. But I would rather advise you that it would be smarter for you to go and buy a Cadillac Escalade that's been around for a year or two. And that particular vehicle, instead of paying $125,000 to $135,000 for it, you can get this vehicle for $70,000 and save considerably. That's not changing. Yeah, you can still buy a Cadillac Escalade, a new one, but why spend that much for it when you can save substantially by buying one that's 1 or 2 years older, or maybe even less? That's not even the point. The point of the matter is that's what Hamashiach was doing. He was ratifying. He was giving us better instruction. Yes, you do have to keep any oath that you make to the Most High, and you have to do every bit of it. That is unequivocally true. But the adversary's job is to keep you from doing that oath. And if he can do anything he can in order to do that, then that's what he'll do. You, on the other hand, you don't have to swear by the Most High. You don't have to make an oath to the Most High. That's not necessary. He's saying just say yea, yea, Khan, or la'ah, nay, nay, no. That's all you got to say. Whatever else is coming of evil. You saying anything else is coming of evil. It's just like dropping $130,000 on the Escalade, or you can drop $70,000 on the Escalade. Yeah, you can drop $130,000. You're like, yeah, I got that brand new Escalade. Yeah, brand new. Nobody ever had owned it. Never mind, my car payment $1,500 a month. Or I got that $70,000 Escalade. Yeah, somebody owned it before me, but I'm only paying $700 a month, $800 a month, whatever it is. That's what Hamashiach was explaining to you. That's what Hamashiach was putting in perspective. And you don't know these things. You just go off on this time.
Verse 2, but now he's saying in the New Testament, swear not at all. He says, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, but let your communication be yes, yes, and no, no. Whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. So this is a clear change right here.
That's not a change.
Even James 5:12. So we
That's
see
not a
this clear
change. Again, that's not a change. This is giving you better instruction on how to operate the Torah. Why swear by the Most High if you don't have to? That's what he's saying. Why put yourself in this bind when you don't have to put yourself in this bind? Why put yourself in this predicament when you don't have to put yourself? Why buy a brand new Escalade when you can buy a used Escalade for half the money? Is that elementary enough to understand? Why pay $1,500 to $1,800 a month on a car payment when you can pay $700, $800 a month? And some people say that's too much. But that's not the point. It's not the payment. That's all the Messiah was doing, was giving you clarity on how you can operate your doings. Let's continue.
change. And so I don't think that it was God's intention for man to have multiple wives, because in Genesis 2:24 it says, a man shall leave his father and mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. No longer two, but they have become one. And so when I see Matthew 19, when Jesus is actually saying that Moses allowed you to divorce your wife.
And he keeps interjecting divorce where the word divorce does not exist. Let's jump back to the text here, because this is frustrating. All right. Let me explain something to you here, just so you understand clearly, quite clearly. What you're looking at here is the text that's in reference. This is the book of Matthew, or Matthew, chapter number 5, verse 32. But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife, save for the cause of fornication, that means sexual impurity, causes her, his wife, to commit adultery, and whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committed adultery. So wait a minute, he's got a point, because it says that, oh, you divorce her, then you're putting her away. Let me show you something with the Strong's numbers here. Put away, but I say unto you, whosoever shall put away, that is G630, put away. That's what the word for put away is, G630. And look right here. Marry her that is, this word says divorce, but this is the same word as G630. So wait a minute. How is this the same word if it got two different meanings? This is put away. This is divorce. But wait a minute. Here's divorce right here. Here's divorce right here. This is G647. So if these are the same word, this one and this one is the same word, why is this one different? Well, wait a minute. Let's read the context of 31. It has been said, whosoever shall put away, that's G630, his wife, let him give a writing of divorcement. That's G647. Here, it's saying divorcement. Why didn't it say G647 right here? It says G630. The same as putting away. Because when you put away your wife, she's still your wife. And when you go and with another woman, you're committing adultery against your wife. When she goes to another man, she's committing adultery against you. That's the problem with putting away. But you can't interchange putting away and divorce, because those are two different things. Put away means you separate. Divorce means you end the deal. You end the contract. It's over. It's over with. But he said Moshe got it wrong, and he's also saying that you don't need to, that you can't do either one. But Hamashiach is saying if you put away this woman, it needs to be because of fornication. That means that she can't go and marry another man lawfully. But he don't know that. He just talking. He don't know anything.
That's a subjective command that was given.
Well, what
It
does that have to
wasn't.
do
It,
with wives,
it,
though?
so basically, that command for Moses to allow them to divorce and remarry was not commanded by God from the beginning. That's why Jesus says Moses allowed.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right here because this is just too ridiculous. You know, this brother obviously don't have a clue what he's talking about. He's just running his mouth, and I've shown you through the text exactly what thus says the Most High Power and what thus says Hamashiach, and why he's saying what he's saying. Uh, Shame on this brother for coming on here and talking this foolishness. And I don't know how deep Deacon got into his arsenal, but I said Deacon Salakia preached HAKAH. HAKAH got into his arsenal, but he should have cut this brother into shreds, his doctrine at least into shreds. And here's the thing: I don't advocate for trying to destroy brothers or make brothers look bad or whatever the case. But brother, when you come on a platform and you talk foolishly like you've talked on here, you set yourself up. You set yourself up unequivocally. You know, you're the way you look is because of what you got to say. And that's your doing. So I would advise anybody who don't really know what they think, who think they know something or heard somebody or heard something from somebody else, before you start uh, spewing that same rhetoric, that you actually learn what it is that's really going on before you just go off and start repeating stuff that you heard somebody else say. Because chances are you don't know what's going on, truthfully. And that's not me being throwing shade at you. That's just what's real. Do you really know what's going on? Do you really understand the rhetoric that's been taught? Or are you just trying to kick something that you heard somebody else talking about? All right. That can be detrimental to your existence. That can be definitely harmful to what it is that you call yourself doing, especially when it comes to spiritual things. All right. Man, it's frustrating. It's absolutely frustrating. And I want y'all to stop. I want y'all to stop. All right. I'm going to go ahead and sign out. We'll close out as we always do with the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter number 12 and verse number 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. It is so very important that you understand that in the conclusion of the whole matter, you are to fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. At the end of the day, when it is all said and done, all the dust is settled, and all the smoke is cleared, you will be judged on whether you have feared the Most High and kept his commandments. Why? Because this is the whole duty of man. I am your Akazaki Yahu, giving all praises, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah Bahashem, Yahushua Hamashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who were scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say Shalom, Wa, Baruchi. That is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation under the Most High Power, under one covenant, back in our own land with a heart of flesh and no more a heart of stone, with our enemies, our adversaries, and all those who hate us under our feet. Until that day come, shalom, family.